Hello and welcome back to the Plus EV betting channel. This is where we're going to take a look at the upcoming weekend fixtures. We have 4 rounds in the Premier League, the Championship and League One after the FA Cup break that we had over the weekend. There was only one bet last weekend due to the FA Cup, which was in League One. That one lost, unfortunately. I've updated the totals here for the season. Again, these numbers are not very meaningful at the moment, because the sample is just too small. So this was the bet. Sunderland versus Lincoln, we were on the under. That one lost because the game finished 3-1. You can see the fair goals I've calculated for this match. So it seems we weren't totally off track here, which is always a good sign when you lose a bet. So into the preview, starting with the Premier League. As always, you can see the home sides and the away sides here on the left-hand side. Their goal expectations, the totals, which is just these two numbers put together, and derived from that the fair over-under prices in the over 2.5 markets. Tottenham vs Liverpool is probably the match of the weekend. It's quite remarkable actually when you look at these numbers here, the expectation. If you think back where Tottenham have been, to being almost a full goal underdog at home to anyone now in the league is quite significant. I know StatsBomb put out something recently on Twitter, I think, when they sacked Pochettino, and they showed this graph that showed the development of the decline really of the expected goals numbers for the last 18 months, and it's been a steady decline, which is unprecedented really with unchanged personnel. I can't think of a similar example. They've basically lost half a goal per game and are, just above average side in the league now, and this is reflected in these numbers. I mean, they changed managers, and I think they had to do that because they weren't going anywhere. But at the same time, they really need investment into the squad, and the performances haven't changed under Mourinho, which is, I wouldn't put it down to Mourinho necessarily. But it's just with the players he has at his disposal at the moment, they're not going to challenge for the league anytime soon, I don't think. So Aston Villa versus Man City is sort of the outlier here in terms of the number of goals expected. Aston Villa, along with Newcastle, I think probably the worst team in the league, and it shows here in these numbers. On to the Championship. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Again, you can pause the video and look at these numbers in more detail if you wish to. QPR on fire at the moment. After dispatching Cardiff 6-1 in the league, they won 5-1 in the FA Cup. That was at home though, now they're away to Brentford, who are an incredible side. So this will be an interesting one to watch. League One, again, take your time to look at these figures here, and I will show you the recommended bets now. And there's quite a lot of them in the Premier League. A lot of unders, as you can see. A lot of away sides, a lot of underdog bets on the under. I mean, these go hand in hand when the algorithm favors the underdog. This usually means that not a lot of goals are expected, because the more goals are expected, the more the difference between the two sides will show. I mean, I hope this makes sense to you. If Liverpool play Newcastle at home, Liverpool will be a big favourite, like let's say 2 goals. And if they're 2 goals favourite, well, the over has to be at least sort of like 2.5 or 3, because how can they not score goals if they're such a big favourite? On the other hand, if you're on the underdog and usually away side, this means the total is quite low, because the fewer goals will be scored, the more likely a draw will be, and the more likely the plus handicap bets are to come in. So these go hand in hand. Sometimes you have the reverse. Sometimes you have an example here. I mean, here we have Crystal Palace, the underdog, but at home. in combination with the under. Sometimes you have an overbet in combination with an underdog. It's quite rare though, I have to say. So, I mean, here we have Bournemouth, a small favorite, and we also have the under. So these are just two teams who don't score a lot of goals, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Championship, same thing. A lot of underbets here. Anything interesting here? Brentford QPR, yeah. I just mentioned QPR scoring 11 goals, and still they are one goal dog to Brentford. Brentford are just one of the best teams in the league, really. I mean, behind Leeds, maybe Fulham, I think, they're up there. And Brentford are remarkable. They might be the best run club actually at this level. They constantly overachieve in terms of the budget they have and the money they spend. But they have been one of the first ones really to make use of sort of advanced analysis and metrics. They're very good at identifying players in the market for for little money, excuse me. And I think it's just a matter of time till they come up to the Premier League. It might be this season actually. Finally, League One. There's been an issue with the Rochdale game, Rochdale versus Bolton. It's not quoted yet in the Asian markets. I don't know what's up with it. Usually we had this with Macclesfield, for example, in League Two, because there's been issues with players not being paid, and you know, would they turn up or something like this? So the bookies have been very reluctant to price them up early, and they would wait for confirmation till they go up. So Rochdale and Rochdale vs Bolton is not traded yet in Asia, so I cannot put up a bet here. But I haven't been able to find out what the reasons really. I mean, we know Bolton there's been financial issues, but I couldn't find anything with regards to this game specifically. So I'm going to leave that one. And you can see the other fixtures here. So as always, good luck to you. Should you follow any of the recommended bets here. I should say one thing though, I almost forgot this. Doncaster versus Shrewsbury is being played tonight, Tuesday that is. So this is not the same match day as the rest of these fixtures, because you can see Doncaster are in action again on Saturday. And if we go back to the expected goals here, so same thing here. This is being played tonight, Doncaster versus Shrewsbury. And then Bristol versus Doncaster is going to be played on Saturday. Okay, that's it for today. I'll be back after the weekend with the review. And of course the next preview for the upcoming matches. Good luck.